This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 26. The people of Israel, no God is like your power, riding in splendor across the sky, riding through the clouds to come to your aid. I like to give all praises and glory to Almighty Yahweh Yahushai. I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Almighty Yahweh Yahushai. Double honors to the men of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is his brother Boaz on the set once again. Who is like your God, okay, riding through the skies. Yahushai got some big giant UFO, okay, a big giant UFO that he travels in, okay, and he flies across the skies. The elites know it. That's why they have the underground bunkers, okay. That's why they see this big giant UFO getting closer. That's why they're going into hiding, okay. Let's get it. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 27. Power have always been your defense. His eternal arms are your support. He drove out your enemies as you advance and told you to destroy them all, okay? Yeah, we're going to tell the so-called white man we're going to destroy this man, okay, and put him in slavery, okay? That's what this is all about, okay? Serving Yahweh Yahushai, calling upon him for his presence in the time of trouble. Let's get it. The book of Psalms, chapter 20, verse 1. May Yahweh answer you when you are in trouble. May the power of Jacob protect you, okay? So whenever you're in trouble or whenever you feel in a crunch, you have to call upon the names of Yahweh Yahushai so you can make it out of here with your life when this thing comes to pass, okay? That's what this thing's all about. Okay, Yahushua has his dazzling lights. Okay, it's a spacecraft. Let's get it. Turn to the book of Numbers. The book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 22. None of these people will live and enter the land. They have seen the dazzling lights of my presence. So that dazzling light, that's Yahweh Shai's spaceship, okay? It's a big giant spaceship, okay, that he has, okay? I know it's hard to believe, okay, but that's why Yahweh Shai say you have to become like a child, okay? Okay, because we've been totally dumbed down on this side, okay? And when Yahushua gets here, he's going to do mass death and mass genocide and killing when he gets here, okay? It's a big giant UFO. None of them have seen the dazzling lights of my presence and the miracles that I perform in Egypt and in the wilderness, but they will try my patience over and over again, and they refuse to obey me. They will never enter the land which I promised to their ancestors. None of those who have rejected me will enter in it, okay? That's what this is about, okay? The book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 10. He flew swiftly as on his winged creatures. His winged creatures are UFOs. He travels on the wings of the wind, okay? So the wings of the wind, okay, are his UFOs, okay? That's what this thing's about, okay? The so-called white man knows about them. He calls them UAPs now. Okay, one moment. 104, chapter 104, verse 3. The book of 104, verse 3, the book of Psalms. You have covered yourself last light. You have spread out the heavenly tents like a tent. You build your home on the waters. You use clouds as your chariots and ride on the wings of the wind. Okay. So once again, Yahweh Shai got a big giant UFO, okay, that he travels in, okay. That's what this is about, okay. The book of Ezekiel saw, he saw the light of the craft, okay. It's a big giant craft that Yahweh Shai got. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 1. On the 5th day of the 4th month of the 13th year, I, Ezekiel, the priest, son of Buzi, was living in the Jewish exiles by the Kibar River in Babylonia. The skies opened, and I saw visions of power. It was the 5th year since King Jehoiakim had been taken into exile. There in Babylonia, besides the Kebon River, I heard Yahweh speaking to me, and I felt his power. I looked up and I saw a windstorm coming out from the north, lights as flashing from a huge cloud. So he seen the lightning is flashing from a huge cloud. That's a big giant UFO craft that Ezekiel is explaining. And remember, he didn't have the terminology that we use today. Okay, UFOs is machinery. Okay, basically the so-called white man fucked up on this one. Okay, when you see these UFOs, okay, the so-called white man fucked up on this one. Okay, he didn't think things through. Okay. That's what this is all about, okay? The so-called white man fucked up on this one, okay? When you see these giant UFOs, okay, they're coming to get busy on this man, okay? Okay, you see a big giant UFO craft coming out and with lightning coming out of it, okay? Okay, one moment. The book of Zechariah, chapter 5, verse 1. The book of Zechariah 5, verse 1. I looked across, and this time I saw a scroll flying through the air. The angel asked me what I saw, and I answered, a scroll flying throughout the air, and it is 30 feet long and 15 feet wide. Then he said unto me, on it is written the curse that is going throughout the whole land. On one side of the scroll is said that every thief will be removed from the land, and everyone, and on the other side, it says that everyone who tells lies under oath will also be taken away. Yahweh Almighty says that He will send this curse out, and it will enter the house of every thief. Okay, that's a so-called white man. Okay, how did he get America? He stole America. Okay, how did he he genocided the Native American Indians? Tell and everyone who tells lies on an oath, it will be remain in their houses and leave them in ruins. Okay. Okay, one moment. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 16, verse 11. And if there be one stiff neck among the people, it is a marvel that he escapes punishment. For mercy and wrath are with him, and he is mighty to forgive and to pour out displeasure. As his mercy is great, so as his correction also. He judges a man according to his works. The sinner shall not escape with his spoils, and the patience of the godly shall not be frustrated. Okay. Basically, the so-called white man fucked up on this one. He didn't think things through. Okay, these are UFOs and they're angels. There are so-called black men piloting these crafts. Okay, they know. Okay, the so-called white man makes series like X Files, um, the seventh kind, etc. Okay, District 9. He makes mockery of these UFOs, okay, but he knows that they're out there, okay, and he knows that when the time comes, he's going to get destroyed. Back to Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4. I looked up and I saw a windstorm coming out from the north. Lightning was flashing from it, a huge cloud, and the sky around it was glowing. Okay, that's the lights. Okay, that's the lights, okay, of these crafts, okay. He's seen a big giant UFO glowing, and where the lightning was flashing, something like stones, like bronze. At the center of the storm, I saw it look like four living creatures in human form. These are the angels, but each of them had four faces and four wings. Their legs were like straight, and they have hooves like hooves of bulls. They look like polished brass. They're black men, okay? In addition to their faces, they have four wings. Each have human hands. They're human in nature. On one of each wings, there are two wings, each of them covered and spread out so that the creatures formed a square and with their wingtips, when they were moving, they moved as a group throughout turning their bodies. Each living creature had four different faces, human faces in the front, like light as faces. At the right, a bull face. At the left, an eagle's face. And at the back, two-winged creatures, so they touch the tip of their wings and the next to it. Verse 13, among the creatures there was something looked like a blazing torch constantly moving, okay, UFOs, okay. The fire was blazing up and shoot out of the flashing light. The creatures themselves darted back and forth like the speed of lightning. Then I looked as the four creatures, and I saw wheels touching the ground, one beside each of them. Okay, landing strips. Okay, the so-called white man fucked up on this one. Okay, he didn't think things. These are these heavenly beings. Okay, that have spaceships and crafts. Okay, and they coming to get busy. Okay, they're gonna destroy this man. That's why the scriptures urge you to come back to Yahweh Yahushua while you still can. Okay, one moment. Okay, that's why the scriptures urge you to come back while you still can. All four of the wheels were alike, each of them stone like a preceding stone, and each one had wheels intersecting the right angle so that the wheels could move in any four direction. Okay, the rims of the wheels were covered with eyes. That's the windows. Whenever the creatures move, the wheels will move with them, and whenever the creatures rose up from the earth, so did the wheels. The creatures went wherever they wish, and the wheels did exactly what the creatures did, because the creatures controlling them. Okay, that's these UFOs once again coming in to hand this man his ass. Okay, the so-called white man fucked up on this one. He's gonna be destroyed. Okay, okay. These are these wheels of Ezekiel. Okay, these spacecrafts. Okay, coming to destroy this man. Okay, that's why it's saying to you. Okay, if you could get the message, come back to Yahweh Yahushua while you still can. The book of Hosea chapter 14 verse 1. Return to Yahweh your power, people of Israel. Your sin has been your stumbling and fall. Return to Yahweh and let his prayer be your offering to him. Forgive. Let's read it from the top. Return to Yahweh and let this prayer be your offering to him. Forgive all of our sins and accept our prayers, and we will praise you as we have promised. Assyria cannot save us, and war horses cannot protect us. We will never again say to our idols that they are our power and Yahweh. You show mercy to those you have and no one else to turn to. Okay, so you have to come back to Yahweh Yahushai while you still can. Okay, uh, these crafts. Okay, they come in all different sizes. Okay, Yahushai got a big giant UFO. Okay. Okay, these is what the dazzling lights on them. Let's get it. Turn to the book of Exodus. The book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 21. During the day, Yahweh went in front of them in a pillar of cloud to show them the way. And during the night, he went in front of them in a pillar of fire to give them the light so that they could travel night and day. The pillar of cloud was always in front of the people during the day and the pillar of fire at night. So that's what this is about. And the so-called white man knows about them. And but could you understand and see that the so-called white man, he's going to try to fight against these UFOs. He's going to be afraid, like prophecy said, but he's going to try to fight for his. The book of Exodus, chapter 24, verse 15. Moses went up the mountain Sinai in a cloud covering. The dazzling light of Yahweh's presence came down on the mountain to Israel, to the Israelites. The light looked like a burning fire on top of the mountain. So you see these huge giant lights, okay? Dazzling lights, awesome lights that look like fire, okay? The so-called white man fucked up on this one, okay? He didn't think things through, okay? Yahweh Shai is a God, is a consuming fire. And once he came down to the mountain, the Israelites, the light looked like a fire burning on top of the mountain. The clouds covered the mountain for 6 days, and on the seventh day, Yahweh called to Moses from the cloud. Moses went up the mountain in the cloud where and stayed for 40 days and nights, okay? So hopefully you will edify. I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.